Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nothing But Net, where we talk all things and everything basketball. I'm Rhythm,
I'm Cole.
I'm Kaya.
and today we're going to be talking about our awards predictions for the 2024 NBA season and who our conference finals picks are going to be and who's going to win the NBA title, the Larry O'Brien Trophy, the 2024 NBA champion. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. So let's start off with the most important award in all of basketball in terms of the awards. Let's talk about the most valuable player of the NBA. I'll let you go first, Kaya.
Okay, for MVP, I think it's pretty clear where I'm going with this. I think I'm gonna get Jokic. People are saying he's won too much. It's NBA glaze. But I don't think it's true because Jokic, he's doing unbelievable things, and he's acting like he doesn't care. He genuinely like he has so much skill and natural talent that he can be the greatest without really having to try. He doesn't care about the NBA. He wants to go take care of his horses at home.
Yeah. But
And reigning champion from last year.
yeah,
So many great games, just great player all around.
I don't know, because you said people are saying that he's won too many already, and I feel that that's my case here, because if Jokic wins this award, he would have more MVPs than like Stephen Curry, than like Giannis, than like, so many people with two-time MVPs, and that just doesn't sit right with me that Jokic has more MVPs than Steph Curry or like some other all-time greats. Like he already has more MVPs than what's his name, Kevin Durant, and it just, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. And also, another player is having a fantastic season in my books, and that is the Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. He is averaging around 28, 8, and 8. He's at the 5 seed. He is which is in the Western Conference this year, the 5 seed. That's how you know you're a good team.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like Luka is my MVP because Kyrie has been out for so long, and not for so long, but he was out for a good portion of the season, and he still managed to pull through and get the Mavs to winning games. But also the fact that Luka makes the people around him better. Because
That's true.
Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, they were not that good in Washington and Charlotte, respectively. They came to Dallas, and Daniel Gafford almost broke Wilt Chamberlain's record of most consecutive field goals made. And PJ Washington's really good, and the Mavs are really good in general. And I think that Luka's ability to bring everybody together is why he's my MVP.
Okay.
For me, I'm also going to go with Jokic because he is just the best player in the NBA. And it's kind of been like that for the last 4 years, especially. I think the last point guard to win MVP was Harden, 2019 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's been a big dominated award for the last 4 years. And I don't think that'll change because there's still Jokic, he's a really good big. And that's kind of needed in this type of game.
Yeah. And going back to the he's won too much point, I just think we can't not give him the award because he's winning too much, because he is the greatest in the league right now. I truly believe that he is the greatest in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And he deserves it. He well deserves it.
Yeah, I don't know. Because the best player in the league, yeah, maybe they should win the MVP, but then LeBron James would have 10 straight MVPs if the best player in the league was the category for MVP. So I get what you're saying about how we can't put him down just because he's already won 2, but I mean, I just feel that Luka has as strong of a case as Jokic, and he has the voter. He doesn't have the voter fatigue against him, so that's why I have Luka as my MVP, because he has relatively the same case as Jokic. And for the people who say that Luka's the 5 seed, so MVP, he's not even the MVP because he can't even will his team to a top 3 seed. Jokic won the MVP in 2022 and he was the 6th seed. Russell Westbrook won the MVP in 2017, and he was the 6th seed. I don't think seeding matters in MVP.
It really doesn't.
So yeah. But now so your MVP is Jokic, your MVP is Jokic, and my MVP is Luka. We will see what happens. But now let's move on to Defensive Player of the Year. I'll let Cole go first this time.
I have Rudy Gobert because the Timberwolves have the best defense in the league, and he has definitely stepped it up from last year in terms of defense, and he is one of the best defenders, interior defenders in the league, and I think he should win it over Wembanyama.
What about you, Kai?
I disagree with that. I truly do believe that Rudy Gobert is a great defensive player. He's carrying this defensively led team, like this defensively prolific team. Yeah. With his defense, and I think he's doing like very well in that. But I do believe that Victor Wembanyama he should win Defensive Player of the Year, because just his stats this year, I've seen a lot of his highlights. Just his blocking ability, his defensive game is different than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, and
in the future it can only develop.
But like Cole said, the Rudy Gobert led Timberwolves the best defense in the NBA, and Rudy Gobert is the ringleader of that defense. However, I feel that Kaya already said everything about how Wemby, he's tall, he gets 4 blocks a game. Like, that's not even possible. He has like 2 games with 8+ blocks this year. How is that possible by a 19-year-old? But I feel that the nail in the coffin to Rudy Gobert's DPOY case is Christian Braun. Because Christian Braun, if you don't know, is a player for the Denver Nuggets. And he had an open, fast break, and Rudy Gobert was sitting at the other end of the basket. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he dribbled and
I remember.
He dunked all over Rudy Gobert's face. Then the same play happened a couple days later. Christian Braun was on a fast break, and Wembanyama was sitting at the other basket. He had a wide open layup, but Victor was like a little bit lingering over that way. Christian Braun decided not to take it because he knew he would get blocked, and he passed away the ball. That's aura, if I have something to say. So we'll put up the clip right there. But it's really funny that
Victor's not a regular NBA player.
Yeah, he's an alien. He has to be an experiment made in a lab by artificial intelligence, because there's no way that he's this good at this young age. But yeah. So you got Wemby, you got Gobert, I got Wemby. Next player is our most improved player. I'll go first for this one. I got Kobe White. Now, the front runner is Tyrese Maxey, but I feel that, to me, the most improved player, and I feel that Ja Morant ruined this award, because to me, the most improved player is always the player who went from someone who was unexpected, like nobody knew that he would be good. People thought he would be a role player for the rest of his career, to a really good NBA player. And we saw that with Lauri Markkanen last year. And we saw that with Julius Randle the year before. But I feel that people are using the Ja Morant award, which is when he won most improved in 2022. But he was already going to be good. And that's the same with Tyrese Maxey. He was good player last year. Mm-hmm. It's not most improved. He just got a little better, which a lot of players do. I don't think that Tyrese Maxey is the most improved player of this season. And I feel that Kobe White, he's jumped up from like 9 points per game to around 20 points per game. He stepped up in Levine's finger surgery absence. He stepped up in Lonzo Ball's absence, and he's helped the Bulls not be good, but they're a play-in team. And I feel that Kobe White, because a lot of people gave up on him. He was the 8th overall pick, and people just thought he was a scrub, and they gave up on him. But now he is a solidified good player for the Chicago Bulls, and that's why Kobe White is my most improved player.
I agree. I feel like you really said everything, but Kobe White went from 9 points per game, like the last 2 years, to averaging 20, like somewhere near 20 points a game. It's just a crazy improvement.
Yeah. Cool. What about you?
I also have to go with Kobe White because he is the definition of improved, because he went from a role player averaging 9 points a game to starter averaging 20 odd points per game a night,
Crazy.
which is pretty much the definition of being the most improved player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
While Maxey, he is definitely way better than he was last year. You could also kind of blame that on James Harden taking the starting spot and then him having to play a role that he's not really made for. And now that he's been in like that number one guy, along with Joel Embiid when he's healthy, the Sixers have been good. But I think Kobe White is just like a better version. Well, not a better version, but like
A better improvement.
yeah,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But also shout out Jalen Johnson because he was supposed to win this award, but he
Mhm.
didn't meet the 65 game minimum. But now let's go over to what else is there. I feel like this is the most obvious one. Rookie of the year. 3, 2, 1.
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah. Oh, that's easy. Chet had an argument in like January, but that ended fast. So
Quick,
yeah, it's
real quick.
real quick. Yeah, so it's Victor. He's
Chet, but I genuinely feel like Chet would have won last year. Chet definitely would have won last year if he played.
Paolo was
Powell was really
really
last
good
year.
last year.
It depends
But
because
if Chet was playing last year without a player like Wemby in the league, I feel like because his expectations were out of there.
Yeah, but Paolo's rookie season was really good. We gotta
It was
say
really
that.
good, yeah.
But yeah, okay.
Not to discredit him, but just
Yeah. All right.
I feel like Chet would have prospered really good.
Sure. Next up, let's go to what else is there? Sixth man of the year. I'll let Cole go first for this.
I gotta go Malik Monk, even though he is currently injured and probably will not play for the rest of the season in a contract year. He is still the best bench player in the league because when you could tell that when he came onto the court, the Kings offense was just better,
Mm-hmm.
especially when paired with De'Aaron Fox. He and Fox, they just have this chemistry.
The Kentucky Bros.
Yeah, I hope that they can bring him back, but he's probably gonna ask for too much money.
No,
So-
I think we can bring him back. If we don't,
Maybe.
if we have enough money to get him back and we don't get him back, that is a failure by the organization.
It depends how much money he asks for.
I don't care. I will give him all the money that we have. He is the best offensive player on this team. And no discredit to De'Aaron Fox, but that is a fact. If you watch De'Aaron Fox lately, Malik Monk brings that spark, brings that energy. That's all I gotta say. For me, I do still have Malik Monk for all the reasons that Cole said. But I just want to give a shout out to Naz Reid because of the fact that he stepped up in Karl Anthony Towns' absence in a heartbeat. He did not miss a beat. And he came back, he helped them retain their top spot in the West, and he did a really good job of stepping up when needed, which is what a sixth man should do. So yeah.
Yeah, for me it was in between Naz Reid and Malik Monk for the same reasons as both of you guys, but I think I'm going with Malik Monk just because of his offensive game, his I don't know, his ability to take over when the starting lineup isn't there.
Yeah.
He just has so many abilities on the court that no one really has.
Yeah. And I know they didn't have the number one offense this year, but he was a really good reason why they had the number one offense last year. So yeah. So Malik Monk is our sixth man of the year. The next award, Clutch Player of the Year? Let's go with Clutch Player of the Year. Kai, you want to go first for this one?
Yeah, I'll say Stephen Curry. Because I mean, I don't even know. I would have said, I could have gone a lot of ways with this. I could have gone Kyrie, but I don't think he's right for that award yet. Not yet, but he's not right for that award. I could have gone a lot of different ways, but I think I'm going with Steph Curry because if you watch him play, you can tell how clutch he is. How he plays.
He takes over in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My Clutch Player of the Year is Steph Curry. Was he was up there in my decision making, but I'm gonna go with DeMar DeRozan. And part of the reason of that is that he literally, if you saw the game versus the Indiana Pacers, that was the game that solidified it for me. The Pacers missed a free throw. the Bulls called timeout, and they gave it into DeRozan, like 2 seconds left in the game. Boom, boom, jab step, fadeaway. Bucket on net. Mid-range fadeaway. And then they went into overtime because that was the bucket that tied the game. And he just went crazy in overtime. And he won the game.
I remember
And
that.
they were down like by 3. And if the Pacers had hit that free throw, it would have been game over. But DeRozan came to play in the last couple seconds of that fourth quarter and overtime. And to me, that defines what clutch is. And that's why DeMar DeRozan is my clutch player of the year. He takes over in the fourth quarter.
I'm also going to pick DeMar DeRozan, and I'm just going to go by this statistics. He has the most clutch points of any player, and by that definition, he should just be clutch player of the year. Because Fox last year, he also had the most clutch points. I think second was also DeMar DeRozan, but I could be wrong there. But yeah, I agree with Rhythm. Like he just elevates that Bulls team, especially when it matters.
Yeah. So you got Steph, I got DeMar, you got DeMar.
Yeah.
Next up, is it Coach of the Year?
Yeah, Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year. I know my pick. Do you know your pick? Mark Dagnall, baby. Oklahoma City Thunder. He has the same case as Mike Brown last year.
He brought them to so much.
He brought a young team, and he brought a culture to that team. Because I know this is going to sound weird, but if you watch... Okay, stay with me here, okay? If you watch Jalen Williams' TikToks, just stay with me here, you can understand how much of a culture that OKC has and how much of a teamwork and bonding. They genuinely like each other. Other than Josh, they genuinely like each other. And I feel that Mark Dagnall is a huge reason for that, because he brought these group of young men together to be the number 1 seed in their conference, well, for now. And he literally gave a culture to OKC and helped give them chemistry and plays, and also off the basketball court, make them friends and work together and teamwork and everything. And that's literally what a coach does. And that's why I feel that Mark Dagnall is my coach of the year. Also, the Thunder are a really good basketball team. So, yeah, Mark Dagnall.
I agree with you. Just like, I don't know, besides just the culture, they built a family, they built a community. They have so much going on in OKC that, and off the court and on the court, they're genuine amazing people, and they can do so much on the court.
Yeah, you can just tell that their chemistry is really good, and especially the improvement they made, because they're kind of like the Kings from last year, where they were kind of like a bottom team, and now they've kind of taken that next step to be a top seed. Hopefully this time they can keep it, but we'll just see how they do in the playoffs.
But also, I got to give a shout out, because if it was this time a couple months ago, I would have said Will Hardy was my coach of the year. And I know that this hasn't stayed, but in the beginning of January and February, the Utah Jazz went on like a really big win streak. And the reason for that was because of the adjustments that Will Hardy made. He started giving Keontae George more minutes. He made Colin Sexton into a more of a energy guy, defensive scoring role. He benched Walker Kessler. He started Simone Fontecchio. He did all these stuff, and I feel that his intellect is gonna help the Jazz rebuild go to plan. And that's shout out Will Hardy. He would have won this award if the Jazz maintained that stretch, but I feel that Mark Dagnall is my coach of the year.
Yeah.
All right. Is that all the awards?
That is pretty much all the
I
awards.
think that's all the awards.
All right. Now we are going to say our conference finals picks for each conference and who is going to win it all. So let's just do our Western Conference finals picks. Cole, I'll let you go first.
I think it's going to be... Oh, I want to say Mavericks and... I'll go Mavericks and Timberwolves.
So you think the Mavs or the Timberwolves can upset Denver?
Yes, I can.
Okay. What about you, Kaya?
This is hard.
Honestly, I might go Mavs Timberwolves as well, because I had Nuggets Timberwolves, but now thinking about it, Gafford can't contain Jokic, but neither can Jamal Murray contain Luka. And what about Kyrie? And I mean, KCP can bring some defensive energy, but I do feel that Mavericks might be able to upset Denver. The Clippers have not looked good recently. They were close championship pick. They were maybe they could upset Denver, but that plan is over for me. I don't think that they can do it anymore. But I feel that Mavs Timberwolves is actually realistic, kind of.
Mavs Timberwolves
Or
is
Nuggets
realistic.
Timberwolves. I feel that the Timberwolves can make the
The
conference.
Timberwolves, I had them set, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the Nuggets for this one.
Yeah. I mean, you can't doubt the Nuggets. You can never doubt the Nuggets. So yeah, that's a fair pick. Now the Eastern Conference. I'll go first for this one. I got Boston, which a lot of people say it's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse when they're talking about Boston. That's so fake. I mean, last year they literally lost to Miami. That was their literally only choke. They made the finals last year when they were an extremely young team. Then the year before, they consistently made the conference finals, even as an extremely young team, and now they're in their prime years. And they're I don't think people understand how good Boston is this year. And I said that last episode. Who can beat Boston? Sure, they got blown out by the Knicks, but that's because they're resting their players. The Boston Celtics are so good. They have the best net ratings as the 2017 Warriors. The 2017 Warriors had Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green. That says something. But, yeah, so I think Boston is going to be my number one team to make the conference finals. And sleeper team, I got New York. I got New York making the conference finals over Miami and Milwaukee.
Okay.
I got Boston, Miami.
Boston, Miami again. The third time in a row. Fifth, sixth, because in 2010 they had it conference finals, 2011 conference finals, 2012 conference finals,
And now
2020,
3 and 4.
and 2020, 2021. Oh no, not
Was it
2020,
2022.
2022, 2023, and then 20. Yeah, so like a lot of Boston, Miami, but yeah. Kai, what about you?
Okay. If you would have asked me like 4 weeks ago, I would have said Cleveland and Boston. It's not because of bias or anything. It's not because
He's not biased. He's not biased, guys.
But I think right now I'm gonna have to go Boston. I don't know, Boston, New York, or Boston, Cleveland. Still,
Really, Cleveland? Okay.
Cleveland's a great team, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
Cleveland is a great team.
But they've kind of like had a little slump.
Yeah.
But I genuinely feel like in the playoffs they could do great.
They're in a slump at the wrong time. But we also got to realize the fact that Joel Embiid, I know he's the second round 76ers, but Joel Embiid came back late March and the Sixers haven't lost a game.
Yeah, they're on a 7-game win streak right now.
Yeah, so
No, we know what happened.
But at the
Joel
same
Embiid.
time, it's kind of the end of the season. People are starting to get load managed. So
yeah. But it's also the Philadelphia second round 76ers, so we can never trust them. That's why I'll
So-
never pick them.
Okay,
Last
so
year I picked a Sixers Nuggets finals, never again.
never again.
unfortunate.
So I'm gonna say Boston and undecided.
Boston, okay. And then for my finals, I'm gonna go Boston, Minnesota.
For mine, I'm gonna go Miami, Minnesota, and Minnesota wins.
You think Minnesota's gonna win the chip?
Yep.
What about you, Kaya?
I'm going Boston and Nuggets. Boston Nuggets.
Boston never. Yeah, that's
That's the obvious
that's
one.
if you bet $1,000 on that, nobody would be mad at you because that's like the safest pick to see.
That's the safest.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna go Boston, Minnesota, and I'm gonna take Boston to win.
But we know what happened last year.
We do.
We do know that, but I just feel that this year is different because this is Boston's only year to win because they're going to be in salary cap hell after that Drew Holiday extension. So this is their year to win, and I think they're locked in. Lock in,
We'll
Jason
see.
Tatum.
We'll see.
We'll see. But thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Nothing But Net. We will see you maybe after the playoffs, maybe during the playoffs, but hopefully our predictions come true, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.